Hey guys, Road Warrior back here. I recently took first place in another custom competition. This one was set up kind of unique manner. It was point per fish for Chinook, Steelhead, and Stripe Bass here at Cali. Great competition, a lot of fun here. And another stipulation was crankbaits and toppers only. I did start out with a mini crank there, but then I instantly remembered in the past how much I loved working crankbaits here. I knew it would cover all three. Kind of want to throw some tips up as we go along here and some other things that I know would help you out here. I do have lure guides for that sort of thing if you are not familiar with my channel and you're watching this video. I do have lure guides on every lure class that does try to help you guys out quite a bit. Just kind of starting out here, I do like roll and float. There's not only just one way to use the crankbait, but again, refer to my crankbait video for that, but I will kind of go over briefly some of these things. Also, make sure you're always paying attention to the barometric pressure. It's not 100% foolproof, again, I've said before in the past, but in this case, I generally speaking, I like a roll and float, but since it's a total point thing or a total weight kind of a deal set up where the more you catch, the better off you are, I do go ahead and go to just reeling, what I like to call a reel and a manual twitch, where I'm just kind of popping that, as you can see there. Sometimes altering speeds back and forth and trying to get these things off the bottom in a timely manner. Now, if it was something where the bites are longer stretched out and that sort of thing, also always make sure that you read the stuff as there. I kindly stopped my run here to try to help somebody out. It's hard to, this guy's didn't understand why his fish is not counting. Always go through all those details. Unfortunately, my buddy Jur, even, not picking on him because we've all done it, he didn't bring a big enough keep net, so it was keep as well. So in other words, he had a small, his net was too small, so the fish that he was catching ultimately didn't end up counting as well for my buddy Jur. Unfortunately, in other words, the smallmouth don't count, that sort of thing. But in other words, his net was full, and he had to quit fishing at that point because he could no longer keep any scoring fish. So always make sure you guys do read over those details. We're all guilty of the same thing, but again, double check, triple check, that sort of thing. I was kind enough to inform him that was lures only, as well as make sure that, if you're fishing off the bank, that sort of thing, if it says shore only, that doesn't mean you can't use a boat to travel. You just can't catch the fish from the shore. So make sure that you guys are aware of those things when you're entering custom competition. Look at all those nitty gritty little details that will help you out. Now, as far as the actual run here, I'm just kind of going through a lot of things here. As you can see, even though the 4.0, most people might try to 5.0, 6.0, but I'm not targeting just trophies or uniques. I'm looking for a steady bite rate. Funny thing is there, I went from a 32 to a 17. Again, just kind of showing you the hook size thing. I'm looking for a steady bite. Rotating over to another spot. Again, this will kind of come critical later on. I almost lose my lead. And even myself, I forgot to pay attention to peak, and I'll explain how things can change as you go. Always make sure that you're watching for that, especially on a Compton if it's around an hour. Sometimes those things, the pressure drops or raises, that sort of thing. Might be partly cloudy to sunny. Always be aware of those things. The game does throw those things in there to kind of fool you, I think, and make you use your brain. But as you can see here, I'm just going through the cycles here, just kind of paying also towards my fish count. I know I can get 2 trophies in a unique through these spots, but again, I'm just kind of keeping a steady bite, as well as if I wanted to get a Chinook, I probably could have got a few more of them and stuck this out. Again, I'm trying to just alter my speed there. As you can see, I'm slowing down, speeding up, letting it float, going back down. Sometimes if you're not getting bites, I want to say, I know these things are going to be coming up off the bottom, but I'm trying to lure those things down, thinking they're probably up higher in the water anyway. Being a Chinook, they probably are up a little bit off of the bottom. I know with the stripers, I can tell, again, not to keep beating this thing in the ground just by the pressure. And also, again, just to check that, throw a few casts and try to work your lure towards the bottom. Whether you're even using crankbait or anything in the game, again, identifying what water depth they're at, it's definitely going to help you, in regards to a steady bite. I'm not saying you can't get a random fish off the bottom if it's high pressure, that sort of thing, but just find where the sweet spot is. You might have a particular fish. If it's high pressure, maybe they're on the bottom. Who knows? If it's low pressure, maybe they're on the top. But just generally speaking, I think it holds true for the most part. The higher the pressure, they do seem to gravitate towards the mid to the upper water column, and lower pressure, they seem to go down deep, and again, you guys can test that out for yourself. The best way to figure it out is to kind of pay attention. As you can see here, it's getting ready to change. I caught that last fish. It's at mid pressure. I don't even, I neglected my own thought process there as I sit here, and I'm still fishing on the bottom. However, the time changed. As you can see, that barometer went up. I sit over here, wasted probably 4 or 5 minutes or something like that, at least 5, 6 casts. I'm just kind of showing you that here. I'm like, what is going on? And maybe the spot's dead. No, I get over here and realized, by now I've realized the peak has changed. So here, sure enough, I'm in midwater, if you can see what I'm doing here. Realizing they're not on the bottom anymore, I start going to a slower retrieve. Now again, also you could just go to a shallower crankbait, and then you're more in the strike zone, if that makes any sense. But I'd rather lose a versatile lure that I can go from the bottom to the top. I think I've illustrated that a bunch on Shark and other things in the game. Also, same thing here, pressure's high. Now I could have thrown a topper, or walker, that sort of thing. But again, not just to save myself time. There's no pausing in these custom things, so again, he's near the top. This is actually, as I wanted to let that go through there kind of live without edited, I just spun to the left knowing that this unique should have been respawned by now, whether I want to catch it off the dock or over here. I did catch the one off the dock earlier if you were paying attention. So again, same thing here. I'm reeling and floating. Again, there's more than one way to just use a crankbait. Now, you could have had a shallower crankbait right here again. But just to save myself time, as well as, it takes control. Some of these things you're not just going to learn overnight. I would encourage you to give crankbaits a chance. If you're a guy that doesn't like crankbaits, it could be that you're not experienced enough with them. And that's not a knock. It's just something I really love to throw in competitions. What they will work. I do try to be versatile enough to try to figure out the majority of the lures in the game. I do enjoy lure fishing more so in real life than I do bait. But again, that's just me. And if you guys love lure fishing, or you prefer bait fishing, but yet you're trying to play in these competitions, it doesn't hurt to practice some of these things, even in free mode, whether you want to do it in a temple or not. If you did not know where this spot was, I'm just kind of showing you through here at the end. Just come over here to the left. You don't even really need a mark for this. Just know they're out there by that buoy. So they're all through that area. You really don't even have to cast center. You can go left or right if you want to, but I normally just stay in the center. And just kind of showing you this here at the end. As the clock ticks down, I did have a nice lead, but I could have, I cost myself probably 4 or 5 more points, which could have been critical. Thankfully, all the guys I was fishing with there must have had bad luck. Not that I wish that upon anybody, but nonetheless, I would have blown a lead. I've done it before in competitions, but again, always be using your head, guys. If something's not working, try something else. Change your speeds up, change your depths, that sort of thing. Always be willing to try something new, and as always, keep practicing, guys. Keep casting. I do truly hope this helps you guys out. And I know it's just a custom competition, but you can use these, this sort of thing in any tournaments and any regular Fishing Planet competitions. And again, always try to evolve and get better. If there's something you're not good at, you have to practice a little bit. It's not all RNG. There is some skill involved, and that's definitely something that it took me a while to get down on some of the other lures. I was always good with the crankbait, but nonetheless, not to stretch this out any farther, I do truly hope this helps you guys out, and we'll see you guys again in the next one. But there's another custom win. Thank you guys, and take care.